with.
Could you please clarify what you mean by the universe?
Yeah, well, it makes sense to clarify that, doesn't it? So let's clarify what we mean by universes. Remember, we're talking about universes, not just universe as well. Universe being a specific area of space that is governed by a collective set of laws that do not allow for anything to go inside or outside of that universe unless governed by higher principles, is my definition of a universe. Now, I said that pretty quickly. What did I mean by it? Well, what happens is, as you know, there's a set of laws that govern each layer of the universe. So the physical universe. Remember, the physical universe includes all of the 35 spheres. So someone else asked the question, in fact you did, do the physical universes include Earth, hells and whatever? Yes, they include Earth, the hells, right? And spheres 1 to 35 of 6 of them. So that's, yep. Yeah, remember I said there's 6 or 7 Earths and spheres surrounding Earth and so forth? That's the physical universe. So it's actually quite large. It's everything you can see matter-wise with your physical eyes in this current universe, right? In its furthest possible extent, right? And inside of that is contained the Earth, the hells, and then there's also what you would call dark matter, matter that can't be seen by the physical eye, but can be seen by the spiritual eye, is also included in the physical universe. Does that make sense? And there's 35 of those surrounding each Earth system. So it's quite a complex system. And then there's a set of laws governing all that. That's what I'm calling a universe.
Thank you.
And I'm saying there's more than one of those. And then I'm saying the soul universe is the universe, which of course now is external and I'm drawing it concentric circles because that's the best way to illustrate it to you. But the soul universe here is governed by another set of laws that determine what happens in the soul universe, and so that becomes a universe in its own right. But you can see the soul universe contains not only the soul universe but the laws that govern all of the physical universes. Does that make sense? So each universe contains the lower universes in hierarchy. Remember, everything's hierarchical, so it contains everything in lower hierarchy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You asked a question also about personal responsibility. Can you remember it?
Does our personal responsibility increase pretty much in direct ratio to our knowledge?
Our awareness?
Our awareness of God's laws and...
Yeah. Remember, personal responsibility is about desire. It's not about actual responsibility, but it's about what you desire to be responsible for. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
Now, obviously, the more aware you become, the more you can potentially desire. So therefore, your personal awareness, your personal level of responsibility is proportional to your awareness, because what you become aware of, you can now desire. You can't desire things you're unaware of.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Does everyone get that? You can't desire things that you're unaware of. So before you met me, you didn't know that, many of you didn't even know that transformation was possible, right? So you can't desire something that you're not aware of, so you didn't desire it. But now you've heard about transformation, now you know it's possible, now you can desire it or not, depending on the choice now. But before then you didn't really have a choice because you didn't know. So personal responsibility is proportional to awareness. It needs you to become aware in order for you to become responsible. But remember, part of the responsibility principle is that it's the law-governed, you're forced to want awareness. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now that can happen at any point in your development and awareness. You can be a little child. In fact, many small children have far more desire to become aware than we do as adults.
Yep.
So they are in a greater level of self-responsibility, even though they can't necessarily care for themselves and so forth at that stage. They are at a greater level of self-responsibility than most adults from God's measure of self-responsibility. Because self-responsibility is all about desiring awareness. And many children have a large desire for awareness, which we as adults then suppress. Right? So obviously, you could say that while personal responsibility does grow in proportion to awareness, in other words, you cannot be responsible for something that you're not aware of, you can also see that a child is unaware of many things, but it has a high level of self-responsibility because it desires to know what it's not aware of. So can you see there's a number of factors with regard to self-responsibility and how that plays out in all of these human transformation principles and all the redemption principles even. So you can't tell yourself that just because you didn't know that you have no responsibility. Because a child doesn't know, but a child wants to know. And God's measuring your want to know, not whether you know.
Okay.
Does that make sense? And that's what we need to become aware of ourselves. Do you want to know about these things? Do you want to know more? Or are you just going, no, it's all right, I can figure about that. Now, what I notice most of you doing with regard to soulmate issues is you're in a state where it's purposeful lack of awareness. You want to remain ignorant because you want to control your current life. You want to have a limit. You want to limit potential of harm, what you believe is harm, through love. You want to limit the pain that you believe love has brought you in the past, and as a result of that, you are purposefully desiring ignorance. Now, that you cannot then say that you are unaware, because it's a purposeful choice for ignorance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very important to see those distinctions. Now, the reason why I raise that, even though it's a responsibility question, is because human transformation depends upon desire. And awareness, self-awareness, the desire for self-awareness, which is in a child, wanting to know. That's the desire. And that's what we need to get back to. The same kind of desire we had as children to discover the universe around us and find out more and just keep absorbing new information and comparing and testing that information just like a child would do. Now, when we stop that process, we've stopped it for a lot of reasons. Anger is a big reason for stopping that process. And this is one reason inside of yourself. Anger is a big reason for stopping that process. Fear is another big reason for stopping the process. But from God's perspective, they are not reasons. They are sins. Right? Because they are out of harmony with the principle of desire. And remember, anything out of harmony with any principle is a sin. Yeah. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. That's good. Thanks for that, Sherry.
Thank you.